What do you make about some of these other appointees, Bobby in health, Hegseth for defense, Tulsi for intelligence? Do you think they'll get approved? And what do you think they're going to be able to do? And what do you think that maybe they should do?
I don't know. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of levers that can be pulled. Some of this is, sort of far above my head, I think, in terms of the Trump inner circle and their conversations with donors on the one hand and with Congress on the other hand. An executive branch needs the support of a coalition within Congress, and Congress is far less MAGA on the Republican side than Trump's base of voters. In particular, our Senate Majority Leader now, John Thune, as we covered. So I don't know how much of the ongoing conversations are related to, the John Thune element at the Senate level, I always say, and Trump is not immune to this maxim, but you don't really vote for a president. You vote for the people the president owes favors to. And this is simply true of all U.S. politics. It's been true in some sense since George Washington. This is the nature of leadership and campaigns and our electoral system. And so I don't know what kind of favors Trump owes. I don't know how hard he will fight, how much political capital he will apply, what kind of leverage he will dip into in order to get some of those candidates sort of shoved in, how much he will fight for to a somewhat reasonable degree and then settle for someone else. All of this is, I think the fog of war on that is quite thick. I think that he is going to sincerely try. I just don't know what tricks they're going to pull in terms of holding up the nominations. Again, the fact that you have up to 9 senators who may form a block with Democrats to block some of these. Well, that's far more than I think it's a 53-47 block right now on the Republican side. Even with half of those 9, you can block a nominee. I know that there's talk about using recess appointments to try to end run that process. I think that there's going to be a number of legal obstructions that are going to be attempted to be thrown up to block that path. But, one of my open concerns remains what happens at the Secretary of State level. You mentioned Tulsi Gabbard, Pete Hegseth, Matt Gaetz. We don't know yet what's going to happen at the FBI level. That's going to be extremely telling. People are talking about Kash Patel on the one hand, which would be an unbelievable cleanup job at the FBI. Kash Patel has said publicly that his desire is to turn the J. Edgar Hoover building, the FBI headquarters, just 2 blocks from the Capitol building, into to shut it down and turn it into a deep state museum. So you can imagine if he's made the head of the FBI, the shockwave and signal that will send to all of Washington and into the cloak and dagger black ops arm of the blob. But that remains undecided. I think that's going to be very telling because the other name that's been floated has been Mike Rogers. Mike Rogers, who effectively co-signed every element of Russiagate against the Trump administration. Mike Rogers, who's the ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee overseeing the CIA. Mike Rogers, who is a part of the International Republican Institute, which is the major CIA cutout on the Republican side. He's been a part of the Beacon Project, which is the major CIA internet censorship operation, which has done unbelievably dastardly things to censor the internet, not just in the U.S., but to lobby for global censorship laws around the world, including in the EU, including in Brazil. So if Mike Rogers is made the head of the FBI, I think that will tell us something about the relative power of donors and Congress vis-a-vis Trump. But then the Marco Rubio Secretary of State question is a big open question to me. I'm open to Rubio proving himself and doing a great job there. I do have a lot of open questions, though, about just how in sync his foreign policy is with Trump foreign policy and his commitment to a free and open internet is with the vision articulated by Donald Trump. That's a whole separate question, which I'm not predicting it will be a major issue, but I have very serious concerns that it could be, and it could throw a monkey wrench in this whole thing and allow that shadow diplomacy to be carried out in quite a malevolent way.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.